Ever wondered why the knight moves in an L shape in chess, unlike all other pieces? The knight, the rebel of the chessboard, refusing to conform to the straightforward ways of its companions. It leaps over others, ignoring the rank and file, and lands in the most unexpected places. Now, why does the knight move in such a peculiar manner? Well, it's a story that goes back to the game's origins. Chess, as you may know, was birthed in the fertile plains of ancient India and Persia. As the game evolved, so did the movement of the pieces. The knight, in particular, became a symbol of the cavalry, the agile horseman of ancient warfare. The L-shaped move is thought to mimic the tactics used by these warriors on the battlefield, who would use complex maneuvers to outflank and surprise their enemies. But why does this matter in the game today? Well, the knight's unique movement adds a layer of complexity and strategy to chess. Unlike other pieces, the knight can jump over others, making it a versatile tool in the hands of a skilled player. It's like the wild card of the chess world, capable of swooping in from the most unexpected angles and turning the tide of the game. The knight's movement also allows it to control both black and white squares from a single position, an ability unique amongst all chess pieces. This versatility can make the knight an invaluable asset in certain positions and a real headache for your opponent. So, next time you play a game of chess, remember the knight and its odd L-shaped move. It might seem like a quirky rule from a bygone era, but it's actually a reminder of the game's rich history and a testament to the strategic depth that makes chess so fascinating. The knight, with its unusual move, can sometimes be the most unpredictable and game-changing piece on the board. Has anyone ever sacrificed their pawn in the opening move? Sounds crazy, right? But in the world of chess, there exists a strategy that not only makes this possible, but also turns it into a gambit that can give you an edge. It's called the King's Gambit. This strategy, as audacious as it is, involves the player with the white pieces moving their king's pawn 2 squares forward, followed by moving the bishop's pawn 1 square forward, effectively offering it as a sacrifice. It's a high-risk, high-reward play, like betting all your chips on a single roulette spin. The King's Gambit is not for the faint of heart. It's like throwing a curveball when your opponent expects a fastball. The audacity of the move can surprise your opponent, adding the element of uncertainty to their game. It's the equivalent of pulling the rug from under their feet, potentially destabilizing their strategy. But why would anyone want to sacrifice a pawn early on? Well, the idea behind the King's Gambit is to rapidly open up lines for an aggressive attack on the enemy's position. By doing so, you're essentially luring your opponent into a trap where their defensive structure could crumble under your onslaught. However, like every gamble, there's a downside. The King's Gambit can leave your king's side vulnerable, potentially exposing it to a counterattack. It's like walking a tightrope, one wrong move, and you could find yourself in a checkmate situation. But despite its risks, the King's Gambit has its virtues. It's been employed by many grandmasters throughout history, proving its worth in high-stakes games. It's a testament to the fact that in chess, as in life, bold moves can sometimes pay off handsomely. So next time you sit down for a game of chess, remember the King's Gambit. It might seem like a dangerous move, a wild card, but in the right hands it can be a game changer. In chess, sometimes a daring sacrifice can lead to a larger victory. Imagine a game where every piece plays a vital role, and losing even one can cost you the game. Welcome to the world of the immortal game, a chess strategy where each move is a dance on the edge of a knife. It's like a thrilling roller coaster ride where every twist and turn is a calculated risk that could either lead you to victory or plunge you into defeat. In the immortal game, every single chess piece is like a character in a gripping drama. Each pawn, each knight, each bishop, they all play a part. They're not just pieces of wood or plastic on a board, they're valiant soldiers on a battlefield, each with their own role to play and their own destiny to fulfill. But here's the catch. In this high-stakes game, even the smallest slip-up can have massive consequences. Losing a single piece could be like losing a key character in a movie, changing the entire plot and making victory that much harder to achieve. This strategy requires not just skill, but also careful planning and foresight. It's like playing a game of chess within a game of chess. You got to think several moves ahead, predicting your opponent's moves and planning your own accordingly. It's about seeing the big picture, understanding the role of each piece, and using them all to your advantage. But above all, the immortal game teaches us a crucial lesson about value and purpose. No chess piece is insignificant. Each one has its own role to play, its own part in the grand scheme of things. A pawn might seem small and insignificant, but in the right hands, it can become a queen and change the course of the game. So the next time you sit down at a chessboard, remember the immortal game. Remember that every piece matters, that every move counts. And most importantly, remember that in this game of kings and queens, every pawn has the potential to become a hero. The immortal game serves as a reminder that every piece on the board has its value and purpose. Pawns, the least valuable pieces in chess, or are they? Let's dive into the world of chess, where the pawns, often seen as the cannon fodder of the game, hold a secret power. They may not be as flashy as the queen, as distinctive as the knights, or as pivotal as the king, but underestimate them at your own peril. Think of pawns as the unsung heroes of your chess game. They're like the workers building a skyscraper. Individually, they might seem insignificant, but together they form the backbone of your strategy, the structure that holds everything else up. In the grand scheme of the game, pawns control the board. They dictate the flow of battle. They're the first line of defense, protecting the more valuable pieces and creating barriers that your opponent has to navigate. They're also the first line of offense, advancing forward to claim territory and restrict your opponent's moves. And let's not forget, in the world of chess, a pawn has a Cinderella story of its own. A pawn reaching the other side of the board can be promoted to any piece you wish, often a queen, the most powerful piece in the game. So, this humble foot soldier has the potential to become a game changer, quite literally. This is the strategic importance of pawns. They may only move one square at a time, but they shape the battlefield. They may be the least valuable in terms of points, but they can become the most valuable in terms of strategy. They are the silent warriors, the unseen threat, the potential queens in disguise. So the next time you play a game of chess, remember this. Don't just see the pawns as expendable pieces. See them as opportunities, as potential powerhouses waiting to be unleashed. Never underestimate the power of a pawn, for it can become the most powerful piece on the board. Chess is a serious game, but who says you can't have a little fun with it? Indeed, the internet's treasure trove of chess memes is proof enough that humor and strategy can go hand in hand. The pawn promoting to a queen, the knight's L-shaped antics, the king's vulnerability. Every facet of chess has been the subject of a meme, reflecting the game's unique strategies and quirks in a light-hearted way. These memes are not just entertaining, they're educational too. They simplify complex strategies, making them easier to understand for both novice players and seasoned grandmasters. So, while you're laughing at a meme about the bishop's diagonal moves, you're also subconsciously learning about their importance in the game. Chess memes are a fun way to celebrate the game's intricacies, reminding us that even the most serious of pursuits can inspire humor. Memes can bring a lighter side to chess, proving that even a game of strategy can have its funny moments.